more you give, the more God gives to you. Just keep on giving, because it's really true. You can't beat God giving, no matter how you try. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Sing it with me now. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, when I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Good morning, all of you who braved these frigid temperatures, and good morning to all of you who did not. Regularly, I've seen a bald eagle, sometimes a pair, along our river. For those of you in Tulsa, they hang out about 47th and Riverside. They perch on top of branches of a dead tree because it's the perfect place to scout a meal swimming in the Arkansas. So this past week, I got to see both flying. They weren't flapping their wings, but soaring, making expert use of updrafts. I got off my bike to watch as they circled and banked without any effort. They're magnificent creatures. Their seeming ease got me thinking about my own interactions with the wind. As a sailor, I can trim a piece of cloth at the right angle to move forward. On my bike, I change my posture heading into the wind to be more aerodynamic so I can pedal less. In eagle terms, that's flapping less. And with a wind behind me, I can zoom like an eagle. With this month's theme of grace on my mind, I thought, aha, the wind is grace personified. It's an advantage the eagles have and use, but didn't create. Yet they're taking full advantage of it. The rising thermals provide lift to their wingspans, and their mesmerizing easy circles got me thinking about all the ways in my life I can soar. The grace, the updrafts that I have are help from other people, unforeseen circumstances, sometimes just the right conditions arise that ease everything. It's like having stoplights turn green for you at every intersection. And even in truly tough times, I can find the grace and support that comes my way without asking. The trick is to look for it and to move with it and to rely on it. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again. You likely know this ancient Irish litany of grace. You know, we don't talk much about grace because it's a challenge. It is not under our control, and we are a people, a country, a culture who like to be in charge. We believe we are most of the time, yet control is an illusion easily busted in very critical times, at birth, at death, in the doctor's office, in parenting, at work, or in relationship with other fellow human beings who happen to think they are in control. We actually control very little. You know, for me, this realization is unsettling, frightening even. Take the pandemic. Despite taking every precaution, I cannot control this virus for myself or any others. As a society built upon competition, we expect all these advantages to be earned. They should be doled out according to some recognizable plan. You know, our sense of fairness is tied up with an advantage coming from our efforts. Hard work means success. Grace is the opposite. It's unearned. It just shows up, entwined in life's possibilities. Unfair. Because it's abundant and indiscriminately available, grace gets dismissed as some soft delusion. You know, it confounds our very human tendencies. Having just left the painful year of 2021, talking about goodness and bounty may sound naive, out of touch. I don't think 2022 is going to magically be better. Instead, I think our response can be different. We can train ourselves to see grace and make use of it. The updraft, this lift, exists in many forms. We can see it when we look around. Otherwise, we'll exhaust ourselves flapping our wings or pedaling hard. If you're looking for grace, this bounty, it's often hidden in the gaps of our lives, lurking in between problems and pain and obstacles. At other times, it's leading the way, marching out front. Our job, our spiritual task, or if you prefer, our cognitive task, is to be on the lookout. This assignment may sound impossible. How can we practice something that is out of our hands, beyond our control? But you know, it's similar to being on the lookout for other forces that surround us, possibly invisible, moment by moment. For example, keeping gravity in mind. We honor its existence each time we stand up, walk, climb stairs, set down a glass, hit a ball. And we curse gravity when we struggle to stand up, trip while falling, huff and puff, climbing stairs, drop that glass, shatters, and miss the cup when we're putting the golf ball. I know many of you have already made resolutions. Excellent. At the same time, some resolutions can be like flapping your wings as hard as you can unnecessarily. Notice the ones that assume you have to do all the work. Consider the abundance of grace when you imagine your wishes and dreams for 2022. It may change how you view your resolutions. You may want to revise them or even set them aside. So if you want help seeing the swirl of grace that surrounds us all, we can imagine the ways others have helped you. This list is similar to a gratitude list. Let's start at the beginning to note where great grace shows up unbidden. You are born through no choice of your own, yet granted this extraordinary gift of life, of embodied consciousness. Even if abandoned at birth, a woman carried a pregnancy that produced you. Despite possible physical or emotional impediments, here you are, here we are. Someone, or likely many people, cared for you, fed you, changed your diaper when you could not. Teachers, playmates, and parents, friends, shaped your thinking and access to resources. Or another way to look at it, taking this very moment of time, we're all together virtually and in person because of 1,000 bits of grace. Available electricity, grand sanctuary, primo musicians, wise clergy and staff. And best of all, we're alive and showed up together. Or let's step out into the cosmos. The earth continues to spin, so the sun rises and sets, allowing winds to blow, rain to fall, plants to grow, food to be harvested. You follow, I'm sure. The challenge of this accounting for grace and bounty that's out of our hands is that it's actually pretty infinite. We have this ongoing support, and we don't always see it because we are so hardwired evolutionarily to see problems and dangers and hardships. It's kept us alive, but I'm suggesting instead we flex our muscles to find the grace and the updrafts that are in all our days, even the hardest days. It means being on the lookout for all that comes your way just because. Look for when presence, the material kind, and presence, the relational kind, come to you without effort. You know, slicing through our tendency to dwell on the negative, to feel worthless or not enough, grace demands that we open ourselves up to receiving. Yikes! Giving is much more valued than receiving. In fact, many of us are quite dreadful at accepting help and support. We can immediately be dismissive of sincere compliments. I like what you're wearing. This? It's 10 years old. I bought it on sale. You know, those reactive comments are like throwing a wrapped gift back in someone's face. We struggle to allow anyone to step in when in dire need. I'm fine. Receiving can seem vain, selfish, weak. So to be able to receive graciously means overcoming that persistent feeling of unworthiness. It means giving up shame. It means claiming your right to be here, your right to be human, thus make countless mistakes. The late Bishop Desmond Tutu spoke frequently about grace because it's at the heart of his extraordinary work helping South Africa heal after apartheid. In the face of unbelievable atrocities, he taught how healing can happen. And his Truth and Reconciliation Commission had to look at this huge catalog of unresolved crimes. Scores of activists had disappeared, been murdered by police, countless accusations against those who had abused their authority. But the commission, under Tutu's guidance, offered amnesty to anyone willing to fully confess the facts of the politically motivated crime they had committed. The worst of the worst can learn, confess, and heal. And the commission provided a mechanism to bring forth this truth with grace. Tutu famously explained, "Forgiveness is the grace by which you enable another person to get up with dignity to begin anew." So let's return to this second morning of the new year and our wishes to begin anew. Personally, I'd like to sail into 2022 making better use of the updrafts. In the Buddhist tradition, right effort is the idea of flapping your wings only as much as necessary. And this hunt for grace isn't putting on rose-colored glasses and only seeing the good. It's a corrective, but not simple-minded. It's really an embrace of reality. Life is always both and. Finding grace is a correction to our tendencies to catastrophize, to imagine the worst, to fall into despair. I'm sure you all have heard Fred Rogers' mother's advice. He explains, "When I was a boy and I would look and see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.' She's saying, look for the updrafts. See the grace in human form in that situation." So in the past years, I've made typical New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight, get more exercise, manage my finances better, save a little bit more. And there's nothing wrong with those goals. But they fall into the trap of simply trying to fix myself by myself. It's a setup for failure, which makes my list all the more discouraging year after year. Really, most resolutions come out of guilt and shame. We want to look like or be someone else. We can't accept our fully human imperfections. So we're either losing weight or failing. We're either exercising or failing. Because the resolution calls upon brute self-will. It's a stick to beat ourselves into betterment. And it's not successful mid-February, or if you're lucky, mid-April. Most resolutions are forgotten. They're a binary view of the world, leaving no space for incremental change, no matter how loosely or carefully you try to word it. Although I do like Susan Sontag's roomier ones. I can break this rule every 2 weeks. What happens if it is every week? Anyway, you get what I mean. So resolutions can be like promising, I'm going to flap my wings even harder in 2022. Bah, humbug, resolutions. So how do we refresh ourselves for 2022 without them? To be clear, I'm not letting us off the hook for the wish to improve or be of more service or make changes. Instead, I propose we become more aware, clear-eyed, seeing how help and obstacles are entwined, and begin to trust grace, support that it'll be available in 2022 just as it was in 2021, 1921, 1821. You get the idea. Grace is eternal, woven into the Big Bang, and the resulting narrow mix of conditions that make Earth habitable. It's woven into the 39 trillion bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live on us and in us. It's present in a smile from another. It's even woven into death, that thing we fear the most. I plan to set an intention to notice all the grace that surrounds me. And like all spiritual practices, I have to remember it. That's the beginning. Then I have to look for it. And then hopefully begin to see more and more and more of it. I wish to make better use of updrafts to carry me forward. You know that classic New Year's song, Auld Lang Syne, recommends taking the cup of kindness when it comes our way. If we do, we'll flap less and soar more in 2022. So let's sing Auld Lang Syne together to help us remember our intentions. May it be so.
Thank you for joining us. For 100 years, All Souls in Tulsa has been a beacon of this free faith. We offer our services and programs freely online for all those who are interested. You can help us to do this by making a one-time gift today or a reoccurring pledge. We really appreciate you joining us and being a part of helping us make All Souls in Tulsa what it is. Thank you.
Here we go. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days